Hi, I'm Andy Costello, your professional real estate broker. I am here with Meagan Hope with Bridges End of Life Services.
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yes, so I am an end of life doula, or it can be called death doula, death midwife, end of life midwife, death walker. There's about 15 names for what I do, but I like to be called an end of life doula. And what we do is we do a lot what a birth doula does, but with somebody that's at the end of life. Now, I do get asked often when they hear, end of life doula, so you help people with dead babies? No, I actually have no part in the first part of life, unless, of course, sadly, there was a situation where the mom's dying. But yes, I deal with people that are at end of life or are living with a serious or life-limiting illness. So diseases and illnesses like COPD, heart disease, which many people live with these illnesses for years and years, but really need the holistic approach of not just the doctor and clinical support, but also the emotional, the spiritual, and the practical support of just managing everyday tasks that people go through when they're facing these kind of challenges.
So tell us a little bit about how Bridges End of Life Services came to be.
Yeah, so the big moment was last year, and I have a background having worked and cared for family and close friends at end of life from a very early age. But last year, both of my neighbors were diagnosed with cancer, and they had no family here, and they had just very few friends, and they just were not getting the support they needed. So as their neighbors, we stepped up when the husband had a stroke. And so we helped them for 4 months at the end of life. And I was with the wife who was afraid to die alone. So I was with her through her very last breath.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing to find your calling through your neighbor.
Yeah.
What's been one of the biggest business challenges you've faced as you're getting going?
First of all, nobody knows an end of life doula is yet. However, that's going to flip. That's going to change because we're just seeing a lack of resources, and people, unfortunately, in general, are very afraid of the word hospice, because that means that the end is very near, or that's unfortunately what they think. But as end of life doulas, we bridge the gap. There's just more care that is needed, and not necessarily hands-on care like a caregiver, but really helping people through the end of life, and not just the person but their family, accept and really have an experience that we say is, they're dying well. We want people to die well.
We definitely need people like you in our community. What do you attribute your success to? We were talking earlier about what some of the successes you've had in getting your business going. What do you attribute that to so far?
So far, it's definitely people that have worked with me. I think the biggest compliment I've received so far is, and it's happened more than once, is after we've gone through the experience, is being told you're now part of our family.
That's a great compliment.
Yeah, that's the best compliment you can get. Yeah.
What's one thing you'd want the community to know about Bridges End of Life Services?
So Bridges is not for you just at the end of life. When you think I'm dying in the next couple of weeks, the truth is Bridges is here to honestly just make people more aware of end of life, whether that is you're living with an illness, or if you have somebody in your family that's suddenly died and you need that support immediately. And second of all, one of our main things is to educate the community, and that is, if you're over 18 and you're an adult, you never know when you're going to die. And therefore, please have your affairs in order, which is not just your directives and will, but have your wishes. Have what you'd want to say to your family, either on video. It's called a legacy project. And it's something that we should all be thinking about, because if we suddenly die, there's a huge checklist of stuff that has to get done when somebody dies. And if you can really have a place where people can go and see all of that and know exactly what to do, they can grieve and not have to grieve and have the stress of dealing with somebody that's died. It's really, really important.
That is really important, no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
If people want to learn more about your services, or kind of whether you are a good fit for where they might be with a family member or a loved one or a neighbor, what's the best way for them to reach out?
So we are everywhere, in the sense of go online. It's bridgesnw.com. We're on Facebook, Bridges End of Life Services. We are on Instagram. It is just me right now, so Meagan EOL Doula. And I did that right now because I want that personal connection. I don't want people to see this business right now as we're building. I want them to see the personal connection. And even though this is something my husband and I do together and he is helping with, we are hiring more doulas right now. The problem is right now locally we don't have enough certified end-of-life doulas, which is really important. I do require that a person is certified. So as more people do that, we are building the business. So find us in your community, because we're doing just in 2020 about 18 events.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're kind of going to be everywhere. So whether that's through Southwest Washington Death Cafe, the Neighbor to Neighbor program, you'll start to hear more about Bridges as the year goes on.
Thank you so much, Meagan.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you so much for watching. If you need any more information about end of life services, please reach out to Meagan. Take care. I will see you next week, and have a great one.
Thank you.